Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Go back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Welcome, good morning. Day trading with myself, Speculator Seth. Live day trading with a focus on Treasury markets, scalping, order flow, serious stuff, none of this YOLO your life away, autistic nonsense. Speaking of which, man, have you guys seen, this Wall Street bets thing is getting out of control. I think y'all probably saw this thing a couple of days ago. Somebody named Control the Narrative loading himself up with a glitch on Wall Street bets to trade like $1 million and losing it. Well, but they have not fixed the exploit, and somebody has actually made like $1.6 million off of it. You believe this stuff? Man, let me tell you what, if you're doing that, do not do that. None of that. Do not do that. Listen, if you do that, you are dumb. You are really dumb. For real. Tell me about it, guys. But in the meantime, let's go to the stock charts here. See what happened overnight. Here in the E-mini, we closed down yesterday, but just a teeny tiny little bit. Recovering a little bit. Uncertain. We're still kind of in the same, value area. In Treasuries, man, such a big move down yesterday, but they are recovering it, and now they're at 0.4 So we may have a reversal on our hands here. It's just that move. When we got below 129, some really big guys came in and just bought the crap out of that thing. And I was saying yesterday, this is not right. And now we're higher. If we start retracing this, and I would say here probably around 0.5. I mean, it's always hard to say. Of course, I come over here. It's always hard to say because, we saw volume in a previous area doesn't necessarily mean that we'll see it again. But around 0.5, I think, is the spot where if they start getting above, some people might be really upset. So, watching that. What else we got here? Uzi, what you talking about? So we were talking about this on Wall Street Bets. There was a user, Reddit, named Control the Narrative, and he was selling puts, and then he was using the money that Robinhood was crediting him to from selling the puts to go and buy the stock. So, and he would go back and he would do this over and over and over again until he had leveraged himself up to over $1 million worth of stock. Okay. You're not supposed to be able to do this. You're not supposed to be able to do this. And I actually saw a message. I don't know if it was for real, but I saw a message from Wall Street's Bets commenting on it and saying, well, as long as they're using covered stock to do it, they're okay. Right. So this guy, he takes this trade right into earnings with weekly options, I believe, and just lost everything. Like it was like down $75,000 or something like that. It was a ridiculous amount. And of course, his account got locked out because he only had actually $2,000 worth of margin. So why? So you would think, okay, that's probably Wall Street Bets eats that. Now, maybe they're hedging themselves against it. I don't know. Like $1 million is not that much to a company like this. And there's other things about. Anyways, it's just a little weird to me. And they didn't change it. It's still, the exploit is still out there. So now today, somebody else tried it. I don't know this guy's name yet, but I just saw it while I was getting ready here. Somebody else tried it, and this guy made $1.6 million doing it. So now, now Robinhood has a real problem here, I think, because now everybody's going to start doing it. Somebody actually made money on it. This is just crazy. I can't, listen, I worked. Live action says that's odd. Your video doesn't say live. Well, so I did the video a little bit differently today. I should come in here. I wanted to check a couple of things about it, actually. Okay, I got all these things here. Analytics, viewer activity, stream health. Can I actually... Oh, I can change it. Yeah, we'll change the title here in a bit. It doesn't say live, though, huh? That is really weird. I thought that it would. Let me look. I want to see what it shows me. Okay, let's pull it up here. Pull it up and we'll look at my other user. YouTube. So it'll probably show me. Oh, it's not even showing me the thing. YouTube.com/SpeculatorSeth. No, well, it says that I'm live right here. Live now. You don't see it like that? That's kind of weird. Also, my oh. So because of the way that I did it, the text-to-speech robot cannot find the stream. Now that is interesting. I'm going to have to go and fix that one. So does that mean my YouTube chat can't find it either? Oh man, that sucks. I can only see it through here. Winston, good morning. After some interesting election results, today you will once again be interesting, so I'll observe quietly and listen. You appear, quote unquote, live on my page, and live action says it does now. Okay, well, I tell you what. I tried using YouTube's new control room to run it, and so far, I would say it's working pretty good, although it's saying that my status is poor, which is kind of weird. I wonder... I'm not pushing you guys the data consistently enough, I guess. So that's a little concerning. But overall, I like it. We get more people on the stream here at the beginning because of it. So I have to say win. Win-win. We'll try it again tomorrow, but we're going to have to fix the robot. We're going to have to look here at what the robot is. But I don't think that today is the day to do it. Look at this order flow here, man, guys. We are trading 8,000 at 04. 8,000 and 9,000 they took up at 04 half, and they pushed it at 05. Well, that is they have started a real war over here in Treasuries. Well, let's pull this up over here. Talk to the guys in our Discord. What are they saying? What have the Europeans been saying? That was that 040, says Digital Shot. Man, that sure was a crazy. Okay, so now somebody's stacking there at 05 half. That one makes me a little weary. Why would you stack there? I don't know. Maybe he really just means business. But I think it's better for me to wait a little bit. Let's just make sure we don't do anything rash here. Okay, because when you get that much volume traded at a spot, might come back to it. Anyways, so a couple of things. So first of all, man, I got so much stuff going on here, guys. So first thing, do I sound okay? Because I'm using a different microphone today. I've had this microphone for a couple of weeks, but I didn't have a stand to be able to use it. Yesterday, got a stand, can use the new microphone. How is the volume level? It's on my meters it shows that it's a little bit quieter, but it's because it's mono. Winston's mom says you sound the same. Okay. Maybe it's fine then. Probably need to. I was listening to it the other day, like on full volume, and I heard a little bit of room echo, and I was like, I need to adjust a couple of things because there's that corner back there is probably echoing real bad. You sound great missing a guitar. Well, I could plug a guitar into it. I could do that. That would be awesome. But I'm not very good at the guitar. um anyways, so that's good. I changed the camera location. I moved that monitor down. It was bothering me that I always looked like I was looking down. So I changed it so it's at eye level where I'm looking at. Huh? I think that's a little bit better. So let me know what you think about that. And then I don't know if you guys saw the stinger. Did you guys see the stinger? Probably not. The stinger is great. We'll show it again here when we're up. Let's say we get to 20 viewers, and then I'll show you guys the stinger again. But I made a little video that'll play at the beginning to kind of help new people figure out, what's going on. I was hoping to get that +1, but instead held and closed with -2 scratch would have been the way to go. Yes, it would have. I'm wondering, though, there was a stack there and it did not move. I'm really bummed that the YouTube robot's not working, guys. It's because of the way that this framework works. So let's see here. I come up here. It says get live. Event type equals live. And part equals this channel ID. And key equals this key. That's our API key. And it doesn't actually get the live stream. That's weird. Well, maybe it wasn't live at first, and maybe now it is. Let's try it again. Let's try closing it and opening it back up again. Well, they ticked back up at 06.5. I don't know. This might be like an awesome buy. This might be an awesome buy here in Treasuries, but it scares me. It scares me. YouTube ready. Hey, it worked. I mean, we just had to wait a little bit. Cool.
Lucas says hi all. Winstan's mom says speculator Seth, what is a stinger other than something you might have felt during those latter reps? Lol.
Okay, well, let me show you. I will show you. Here is the stinger.
So stressful. And the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys.
Right here, this
like
is
my
favorite
strategy
part.
is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Huh? Isn't that great? Isn't that great? Listen, I mean, I don't want to be like egotistical. Obviously, it's like the best moments of myself, and I made the video and I made the music and everything about it. But I really enjoy watching that. I think it's hilarious. Oh, man.
Greg Orlovsky says awesome LMAO. Live action says pretty cool, I like it. Winstan's mom says this is like a promo or trailer for a show or movie. Your opening is so darn cool. Wimmer Kevin says was just waiting for the rock to pull up. Winstanzamom says there is a young man in our Jungian typology community and his channel has super cool effects. Flow state he is an ESTP and he just has this talent for editing and his aesthetic is cool like Ors.
Well, thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm like the greatest video editor or anything like that. I think that actually I'm probably going to need to edit it a little bit. I want to add the disclaimer thing to the beginning of it, for instance. Definitely going to add that to the beginning of it. And I might need to go and do up the audio a little bit better because it was like really rough. I didn't like do any kind of real mix down or anything like that. So, but it seems like it's okay. Maybe nobody will notice. Maybe I should just leave it the way that it is. Well, except for adding the disclaimer at the start. I really want the Google text to speech to read the beginning thing. But remember when we were messing with this last time? We couldn't get her to do it the way that we wanted. Let's see. Let's pull this up and see if we can get this to.
Winstanzamom says the funny warning. Do not trade with us if you are stupid. We are not responsible when you do dumb trades.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I want them to do the normal thing. Let's see. I had some thoughts about it. Let's see if we try these new things, if she'll say it the way that we want it. Oh, I have to tell them that I'm not a robot.
Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors.
That was a little bit better. She needs to say it faster, though.
Derivatives trading is not suitable for all investors.
And then what's the next part of it? Oh. It should say derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss.
Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors.
Let's see if I make these words capitalized if she changes the way she says it.
Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
Okay, well, they moved up at 07, but he's having to stack it again. So, I don't know.
Winstanzamom says, I am telling you, the world's first trillionaires are going to come from somebody who masters AI and all its derivatives and applies it in ways we never thought of. Mark Cuban.
Oh, by the way, did we have some news here? I didn't even check my Forex Factory here today. So Wednesday, non-farm productivity, negative spot 3 versus an expected 1 spot 0. Preliminary unit labor costs higher than expected at 3 spot 6 versus an expected 2 spot 2. Perhaps part of why we are moving up, but it was doing crazy before.
Winstanza Mom says, are you feeling okay during this Mercury in retrograde? Sexy robot voice?
I've been feeling just fine. I feel pretty energized today.
Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Man, 07. Well, let's reset the DOM at least. Yeah. I fixed it. Let's change the stream name here. What should we put it on? Well, let's just say for now, War Brewing in Treasuries. Live day trading.
Lucas says about what you said in Discord yesterday, is China demanding too much and trying to boycott the deal? Could that be why we are buying?
I think it's a very strong possibility, Lucas, for sure. So what he's talking about. Hold on a second. So the piece of news that we had yesterday was that China wants better wants the tariffs gone, essentially. And they're basically pressuring to include some tariffs coming off in this quote unquote interim trade deal. In fact, they're saying they want all of them taken off. And yeah, like all of them taken off. And my response, if I was the administration, would be, okay, well, what are we actually getting in this deal? Because as far as I understood it, the interim trade deal was we don't put on the new tariffs, and China buys some stuff. And that was the deal. So if that's the deal, why would you include taking all of the tariffs off? Because the tariffs are our leverage. If the United States takes all of the tariffs off, then what leverage do they have to force China to change things on, the technology transfers and copyright laws and all of this intellectual property rights, all this stuff, right? It would be kind of weird. Now, maybe some of those things are being included in this interim trade deal. And if they were, that would be a really, really big deal. But otherwise, I would say, why are you giving up all of your leverage?
Michael XC says they could do it to try to delay recession past the elections.
This is exactly. So it kind of sounds to me like stalling from China. And China coming in and putting that story out yesterday, I'm sitting here thinking this deal is going to fall apart. Like it has the last 6 times, or however many times it has been this, Now, I am probably just running off of, now it's almost become routine for us, hasn't it? But the kind of action that we're seeing from the buyers here in the treasuries is not normal, especially not after such a strong downtrend. I mean, really strong downtrend.
Lucas says right.
So, I don't know. And I was kind of saying yesterday, in the Discord, I was like, there was like that crazy volume down at 129.20. If they start to get above 05, then something's up. We're above 05. Something's definitely up. And
Winstanzamom says UNCTAD's analysis does not capture the most recent phase of the trade war, including 10% tariffs on about $125 billion worth of additional Chinese goods imported into the U.S. that Winstanzamom says took effect on September 1st, beyond noting that it is likely to add to existing trade losses. Al Jazeera reporting.
Yeah, so this is kind of where it gets like, I don't know, folks. But something is definitely going on. Now, something to keep in mind is maybe somebody knows something. Because when we've seen really insistent trades like that before, later we saw news that comes out to the rest of the market. So, could keep that in mind. Night silver is just pretty much a myth that early state polls tell a different story than national polls. Maybe perhaps true. Oh yeah, which reminds me. So Wynn was asking about the politics. So the big deal last night was that the Republican governor incumbent running in the state of Kentucky was defeated last night by the Democrat by like 1%. By like 1%, there might be a recount.
Wimmer Kevin says on another topic, are there any news regarding the Republican health care plan? I remember this being one of Trump's election promises and really heard nothing about it in Germany.
Unfortunately not, Kevin. Oh man, you shouldn't have asked. You shouldn't have asked that question, because now I'm going to have to go on a rant. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it is open enrollment here in the United States. And my wife's open enrollment period for her work, because she works and she gets pretty good benefits, right? So for her work, it goes from like October 15th until November 1st. And my enrollment started on Monday and goes until the end of this month or something like that, right? So I couldn't even see what the costs were going to be on my healthcare plans until yesterday, basically. And we went through and looked at them all, and it was like, it's more. It's more than hers. Although it depends on which plan, because she gets like 2 plans or something like that. And I have like 9 plans I can pick from. So now we're going through and we're doing all of the math. But man, I get really squeezed because I have a medication. I take Lialda and I take Strattera. Lialda is for my colon because I have a what do we call a chronic colon inflammation issue. Okay. And this medication, it's like aspirin, but it has a special coating around it that makes it so that it doesn't release until it gets to your colon. Pretty cool, right? Well, here's the problem. There is a generic version of it. There is a generic version of this drug, but the generic version does not have the coating. And for something to be considered a generic, all they have to have is the same active chemical in it and the same dosage. And they consider it suitable for generic. So the coating doesn't count. So the one thing that basically matters for me, and I wouldn't say it keeps me alive, but keeps me from not being like a complete zombie all the time, because man, it makes you really tired, is the coating, and it's not covered by the generic. But the insurance company still says there's a generic, you should be using the generic. So I have to pay the prescription drug non-preferred price. Okay. Most generic versions I heard are made in China, says live action. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, I have to pay the prescription brand non-preferred price. Okay. Because they can also say, hey, we prefer you to use this one, so it's okay. You can use this and it's a different price. Okay. The price on this, when it is non-preferred, is $1,000 for 1 month. $1,000 for 1 month, this medication, okay? Strattera is similar, although it's like Even the generic is ridiculously expensive, and it's like $700 or something like that. Okay. Now you get insurance, and insurance pays for your medications, right? Well, here in the United States, this has been squeezing the insurance companies so much that they've basically taken this out of their prescription plans. So, like now, you have to meet your deductible first before your prescription benefits even come in, and then the maximum that I have to pay is $150. Okay, which means that for the first 2 months of the year, I basically have to spend $2,000 per month, literally more than my mortgage, more than your mortgage, on prescription medications for the first 2 months, and then after that, it's $300 a month, right? Ridiculous. And then to get the low deductible plan with the hospitals that I want and everything like that, like the price has gone up. It is ridiculous. So my medical costs have gone up quite a bit this year by a few $1,000s, and I'm really upset about it, and like I'm getting squeezed, and there's nothing you can do. I mean, I could try, I could go and get a different job with different benefits, but they're all doing the same thing with the prescriptions. Maybe they would have a cheaper plan, but overall, it's just not good. So I was super upset about it. But that's my rant on that. And the only thing that could fix it is Congress. Honestly, the only thing that could fix it is Congress. Donald Trump has a plan that to deal with the high cost of prescription medications. But you know what? What are the Democrats doing? They're trying to impeach Donald Trump. All this nonsense. I mean, I do follow it. I just don't think anything's going to happen from it. The Senate's not going to convict. I can almost guarantee it. It's all a waste of time. And in the meantime, Democrats could be working on prescription medications or anything else like that. And this is a little bit more opinionated than I normally get, but it's just extremely frustrating to me that Congress continues to do nothing. Literally nothing. They're just wasting their time. And there's all sorts of things Democrats could do that could have bipartisan support. They could be working on the USMCA deal, for instance. They could be working on reducing the cost for prescription medications. They could be getting something done, and Pelosi doesn't want to actually do anything. It's almost like the Democrats don't actually know how to do anything. I would say, like, at this point, why should you elect a Democrat? Because they haven't shown any ability to actually govern. But that's getting a little bit more, what is the word, like personal, or my injecting a little bit too much of my personal opinion on it, right? I always like to do it from like an analytical perspective, but with my opinion on, bias on it. But that is just like pure politics. So anyways, okay, let's hear a couple of comments here.
Winstanza Mom says Seth, those costs are insane. I understood our medical insurance coverage from being retired military is very good, but gee whiz, my husband is on 9 medications and we pay $3 to $6 and $415 yearly.
Wow.
Wimmer Kevin says, man, I don't want to ever miss my public health care in Germany. Winstanza Mom says the Republican governor in Kentucky was very unpopular precisely because he did go after health care benefits. We are one state over and they will likely go more blue.
Yeah. So that was the thing about the election. So the Kentucky governor, he lost by 1%. He is not conceded yet. There might be a recount. I don't know. But yes, even amongst Republicans, he was deeply unpopular. In fact, from what I'm reading, the Republicans actually did really well in Kentucky in like all of the other races. It was just the governor race. And from the perspective of the kind of like the Donald Trump supporters that were over there, they were saying they didn't really think it was a big deal because the legislature is so far tilted Republican that he would have to work with them on anything anyways. And so they thought it would be okay, essentially. But the media, of course, is trying to say, this is a historic loss for Donald Trump, and it's a harbinger of the election to come. It's probably not. Probably not, because, like I said, he was extremely unpopular. But you'd still have to say, probably Democrats would still need to have been energized to have been able to make it. So we'll see. But that's what I find it interesting here. This thing, Nate Silver saying that the early state polling is pretty similar to everywhere else, and I think he's probably right. There seems to be some demographic differences in how people are voting, and there's a little bit of I don't know.
Live Action says friend had similar problem. His meds are $700 month, but he has a friend who owns a pharmacy who charges him only $70.
Oh, that's nice.
Uzi Knesset says as long as the media gets Democrats' hopes nice and high, I'm happy.
Right. Well, so from the Kentucky, man, well, that's kind of interesting. So when they did the Kentucky, what do they call it? Rally, Donald Trump rally. This guy, he collects statistics. Now, I don't know how he collects these statistics. I don't know if they're like actually up there, like counting everybody in the crowd, or if he's pulling these off of the online people that said they were going to come. If it's from the online people that say they're going to come, then they're not very accurate. But he was, and this is like Brad Parscale, I think it was his name. He's like one of the Donald Trump campaign workers. They were pulling out the demographics of everything, and it was like 20% of them were black males, and 20% of them were Democrats. It was like ridiculous numbers. Okay, like if the electorate on election day 2020 is anything remotely close to what the numbers that he was giving, the all of the polls are dead wrong, because you got to remember that polls are weighted, right? They don't just call a bunch of people and then say, okay, well, 50 of them said this and 50 of them said that. No, they pull a bunch of people and then they say, okay, how did our sample differ from what we actually see on the on election day? And then they also kind of look at, well, how did our sample go? And they kind of adjust to say, okay, it looks like this is changing. And there's this whole science behind predicting what the electorate is going to look like. Well, if 20% of Democrats are breaking Republican, then all of those are wrong. All of their polling is going to be dead wrong.
Winstan's mom says, did you watch the rally? At one point, I thought it was a rerun on YouTube because the president had the same routine,
Yeah.
but the shirts were different.
I didn't watch it, but...
Wimmer Kevin says, is there state where there is a third party which has a chance to win an election?
No.
Or is it just always Democrats versus Republicans? Live Action says, win or lose, how in the world can it be so close? Uzi Knesset says, I don't know about you, but I'm a registered Democrat, I vote Republican, and I repeatedly lie to pollsters.
Really? That's interesting. Well, and I've heard that from a lot of Republicans lately, actually. They say that they lie to the pollsters. I used to take a lot of polls, but now I don't as often. And here's another thing that I don't feel like they're honest about with the polls. I get polled a lot. Do you know why I got polled a lot? Because I go to the caucuses and I was a precinct chair and like I'm super involved. And so you get put on the list. And they use their political contacts list and sell them around, and then they give those to the pollsters, and that's how they get their numbers. So they're more likely to be polling people that are highly engaged. And a lot of those people that are highly engaged are kind of more establishment players anyways. And the people that are coming out and voting are now people that normally were not involved in politics. And that's why the polls were so far off, I believe. That was a significant part of it. And then, of course, the turnout on election day was not what they said it was going to be. And you're seeing it here again. Donald Trump campaign has data that they claim says that it's not going to be the way that the pollsters say it is.
Uzi Knesset says, as a registered Democrat, I get the poll calls all the time and the door-to-door people. I lie to them all, especially the door-to-door people. Tell them I plan on voting for Trump and I might get a... Uzi Knesset says, brick through my window.
Really? Wow, that's interesting, dude. Yeah. I think that well, and here's another thing, not to be like conspiracy theory and everything like that. I don't really think this is a conspiracy theory, but at this point in the election cycle, all of these polls that people are putting out, it's bullshit. It's bull. It's total bull, guys. Head to head race with somebody that hasn't won the nomination yet is useless. It's absolutely useless. There is zero correlation between what it says today about the different incumbents and what things are going to be like on actually election day. Zero correlation.
Uzi Knesset says it completely escapes me why people are honest with pollsters and politicians. Ace Trades says morning.
Hey, good morning, Ace. It'd be interesting to see if Ace sees a particular direction here because the E-mini looks pretty dead to me, and I'm not too happy with the way that the Treasuries are going right now.
Winstanzamom says I agree. It is way too early to predicate how people will vote.
Well, yeah, those. I mean, I believe that you put a poll out like that to influence people's opinion, not to say what people's opinion is. Am I wrong?
Winstanzamom says good morning. Ace Trades small morning. Have you not woken up quite yet? Live Action says market looks pretty stinky today.
Yeah, I don't know, guys. Here's the thing, like, normally there's a lot of allocation on Wednesdays. There was a lot of action in the treasuries. I think that there actually could be some action maybe when equities open, if people get thrown out of positions. But I should also keep in mind that maybe some of this action that we're seeing here today in treasuries is because there's an auction today.
Wimmer Kevin says fucking bot, stop ignoring me lol. So is it 100% Trump or will there be a presidential debate like the Democrats are doing?
Well, so there will be a debate.
Ace
Absolutely.
Trade says going for a short 3076.75. Greg Orlovsky says hi Kevin, there is the Libertarian Party, Left Wing, Green Part, Left Wing, Constitution Party, Right Wing, and Independents, play down the middle, only 400,000 registered for each part, APX. Ace Trade says at Winstanzamom good morning.
I don't think that the bot is ignoring you, although if you put URLs in it sometimes it doesn't do it. And I've been, because we've been having a lot of like, I'll go on a big long thing and then I keep getting interrupted, but it's not your guys' fault because there's enough delay in there. Obviously, there's no way that you can completely time it right. So I'm just like doing them by hand, and that's why they're waiting until I go in here.
Winstanzamom says maybe the wealthy donors were up late celebrating their election victory results with the candidates their trades bought them and now no one has the energy to trade today. The Hangover, great movie.
Yeah, I don't know. There is a treasury auction today, and on days that there are treasury auctions, it's common to see really big icebergs. So that might be some of what we saw. Also, there is a tendency for us to move up. What's Patrick Rooney saying? Hedge funds preparing for the machines to take over. News story. We'll read that in a bit. Donald Trump tweeted something. Stock markets hit another all-time and historic high yesterday. You are so lucky to have me as your president. Just kidding. Spend your money well. What? Okay, that's kind of weird.
Ace Trade says I meant 3075.75.
You want to go short there, huh? Well, okay, so my signal says yes. That a short here makes sense. But the larger concept, the larger context has me a little weary about this. So I think I'm gonna pass. We'll just kind of watch and see. Because right now, the treasuries, there was kind of this big war going on. I kind of want to see how that resolves, and the E-mini just kind of looks range bound. So I don't know if they're actually going to like start selling it today, you know? Although that would be really cool if it does. What was I trying to say though? Oh yeah, Kevin. In the United States, the way that the contest is set up and everything.
Winstanzamom says if you look very carefully at the three charts you will see a tiny little man named Sisyphus pushing his wheel up the mountain. Or maybe just turn on Let's Make a Deal and watch the Swiss guy yodel.
Yeah. So in most governments, they have the parliamentary
Live
system,
action
right?
says Iceberg. Reminds me I had a dream last night 2,400,000,000 offer hit into my long in the ZF.
I've had dreams like that. No, in a parliamentary thing, there's a reason to vote for a third party, right? Because you get a certain number of seats in parliament, and then if you have enough seats in parliament, then you get to be a part of the government, and they have to like work together with you to decide how they're going to make a government and all of this sort of stuff. They don't have that in the United States. It's just you run for that office, and the person that wins that election wins the office. And so there is no real incentive to vote for third parties. And so instead, everybody gangs up into two parties. And the two parties are just coalitions of everybody else. So, yeah, there are third parties, and there's a lot of people in the United States that think that there should be two parties. But the reality is that a lot of what America is today and a lot of their successes really has been because of this kind of weird two-party system that we have here in the United States that just forces everybody to be like this all the time. Which, you know, I understand everybody hates it, but it also has prevented us from doing dumb things. You know, it worked really great up until the Civil War. That, you know, then of course it was a bad thing. But, you know, we'll see.
Wimmer Kevin says well in Germany we have right now several relevant parties. The Green Party is getting strong. The right AFD is also getting more and more popular, while the older SPD and CDU are losing influence.
Yeah. You see, but see in Germany, you can poll and a party can have 20% support or something like that. And that's a big deal, right? That is a sizable enough portion that you could be part of the coalition for a new government. In the United States, you're not winning with 20%, right? In the United States, if you have 20% and there's another similarly aligned party that also gets 20%, but then the conservatives are all together and they're 50%, who wins? The conservative. Every time. And the other parties get zero power. They get absolutely zero power. So there's no reason to vote for the third party, basically. It's basically incentivized against. Ace got it. Good
Ace
job.
Trades says multi-lots take first profit. Breakfast calls.
Was 35.75? Oh, yeah, okay. Well, I'm still not quite feeling it, to be honest. I kind of want to see these treasuries settle down a little bit and see if maybe they give us a buy. Alligator says, still time before. Some selling in ES could help. Careful, yen giving looks again. Could be. Turn that back on. Let's read this story that Rooney was posting. This is kind of weird to me, these stories that they're saying, oh, the robots are coming. And I'm like, they're not already everywhere in the market? I mean, really? And it's almost like they're trying to say you shouldn't trade anymore. But like what I've seen, the past 6 months has been robots just going insane. And people turning them off, and then there not being any liquidity providers. By the way,
Winstanza Mom says Wimmer is your SPD party like our Tea Party, which evolved into this current version of the Republicans who hold control and speak nationalism?
Let me tell you what. The Tea Party was like a different thing. They are. Here's the thing. The Tea Party is not a real ideology, in my opinion. And that's probably not the most popular thing to say, but in my opinion, the Tea Party was never a real ideology. The Tea Party was, we don't like that Barack Obama got elected, basically, and
Wimmer
hating
Kevin
all
says
the
I
things
read
he
one
was
of the
doing.
reason Trump won was that several people wasted their votes on Jill Stein instead of voting Democrats. Well, let's just accept that every Jill Stein vote would go to Democrats, lol.
Well, yeah, but it's true. I don't think that it was. I don't think that it would have affected the final outcome, but it was a contributing factor.
Winstanza Mom says, or is that the AFD?
Yeah, she's asking about the individual parties. He could take 05 here, maybe. But it's not quite right. Although 3663 at 05 half. Just curious. E-mini is still trending down just a tiny bit. Anyways, what were we going on? I had a thought. Well, I don't know if there's anything else to say on the third party thing, guys. Yeah. Jill Stein definitely did not help, but I don't think that alone would have been enough to have moved the needle. Oh, I missed a comment
Act
here.
2,201 says, what are your thoughts on gold futures?
Yeah, so my specialty is Treasury futures. Gold futures are very highly correlated with gold futures. The gold futures are a much less liquid instrument, and that's why I don't like it. I really like a thick instrument. But I mean, they are kind of buying up. They're kind of in the same spot, which is that there's maybe a reversal happening here. So I don't know. I hope you're still there. I sorry I was messing with
Winstanza
everything
Mom
else.
says Wimmer, wasting our vote is too true, unfortunately, and I have done this once before in an election because I always vote, but I could not vote for either candidate, so I throw away my vote.
Yeah.
Kaka Silva says hi.
Well, listen, I think that let me rephrase. I do not think that democracy works very well when the electorate is not educated. That is to say, if you're just going out there and you're voting because you heard your family talking about so-and-so, or he was on television or something like that, then just don't go vote. If you don't know what's going on, when it's a local election and I don't know who those people are, I just don't vote. I let the people that know these people go and vote. Because when you don't know what's going on, you are so easy to manipulate. And there is so much of that going on.
Winstanza Mom says thanks, Wimmer, I will dig a big deeper later this evening. Politics and history has always been a big interest of mine. Winstanza Mom says hi Kaka Silva. Winstanza Mom says 17 watching now, please hit like. Michael XC says democracy doesn't work very well when they have to spend half the time campaigning and the other half raising money.
Yeah, well, now the money thing is interesting. Because here's the thing that I find interesting about the money. There is so much money available in politics right now. Like, honestly, think about it. Donald Trump is going to have this huge war chest, millions upon millions of dollars to go and do advertising. As part of why Democrats are freaking out about like the Facebook, and whether the ads are accurate and things like that. It's because they know they can't compete with him on money now. And this is like one of the first times that we've ever seen this, where the Republicans will have more money to advertise with, and they're scared. They're really scared. But in all honesty, are the Democrats like poor and not able to pay for anything? I don't think so. I think that the way that this is working out is that any political candidate can find the money that they need to get their message out. Especially when you have the internet and it's so easy to get your message out on the internet. I mean, come on. Is Andrew Yang really a serious presidential contender? Not really, but he's gotten his message out. And so I think that that's kind of where things are going. And yet, people are more concerned about money in politics than ever. Now, of course, the problem is always going to be if the politician feels like they have to make a decision because of somebody that donated to them, then that's a different thing.
Live Action says, did Biden's quid pro quo announcement happen while he was in office? Winstanza Mom says, imagine if we only allowed 6 weeks for the elections, like Europe does, or is that only Britain? England, and what the heck do we call the country where London swings like the pendulum do? Wimmer Kevin says, is that the guy with the $1,000? Would take that, lol.
Yeah, the guy at $1,000 a month or whatever. I would take it and I would invest it. I would hope that you would invest it. Because if you just spend it on stuff, then it doesn't have any net impact on the economy. 6 weeks for elections? That's kind of crazy. By the way, Live Action says, did Biden's quid pro announcement happen while he was in office? I believe that did happen while he was in office, but then when he talked about it and admitted to it, and it kind of became a thing, that was long after.
Wimmer Kevin says, all in Bitcoin long.
We haven't even talked about Bitcoin today, have we? Well, they're at 94. I don't know. I have no clue what Bitcoin is going to do here in the short term. It just looks like a complete mess over there. I'm really surprised that people are trying to day trade that, because really, you're just at the mercy of one guy. Okay? So the 05 is stacking. And it's not really resulting in selling yet. They might have to pull. The 5-year might pull it. Okay. There's 04. Oh, no, wait. It hasn't moved yet. Okay. There's a click. Where is it? 30 half. 30. They're big ones that are really far away. Well, I don't like it ticking against me there. I might just bail. Need to see the 5-year turnaround here. Well, there is the big bid at 18 in the 30-year. Could just be that we picked the wrong spot. Oh, you know what? I kind of forgot about the time. Let's double check a couple of things here, huh? I'm listening to myself in the microphone, and it sounds more detailed. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I like this setup. It sounds so much better to me. Okay. I do see FOMC member William speaks at 7:30. Okay. So they are going to squeeze me out.
Live Action says, saw Trump's son last night, said he raised $25 million for children cancer and Democrates made him stop. Lucas says 050 is logical long. 045 would be golden, but you are good so far. Worry if ZB starts falling below 18. Wimmer Kevin says, did you hear the newest Epstein story? ABC News Amy Robach caught on hot mic saying network spiked Jeffrey Epstein bombshell. Just read it on our news.
Yeah,
Kaka Silva says, Seth, I don't like when one person or group is making the decision. Vote is nothing, being in the game and our part, that is what I can say democraty, but voting only is no democraty. Winstanza Mom says, Wimmer Kevin, I watched that. She simply sat there and told her colleagues exactly how she saw everything unfold. Yeah. I wonder what will happen to her now?
That's
Lucas
crazy,
says,
right?
well, I said that like 5 minutes ago, lol. ZB is already trading, 17. Live Action says, yay, Epstein story is wild.
The Epstein thing is wild. So that's Project Veritas. They have a YouTube channel where you can go and watch that video. I saw all about it and I read all about it, but I did not have the time yesterday to actually watch their video. But it was pretty bombshell, and yet at the same time
Wimmer
exactly
Kevin
what I
says she will
expected.
get Epstein in the near future. Lol. Really liked this comment. Even the story about Epstein didn't kill itself.
Yeah, well, that's the new meme, right? I see that everywhere now. This meme that Epstein didn't kill himself. That's everywhere, man. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I don't know, folks. That
Winstan's mom
5 year
says what
is
amazed
not
me was she
turning.
said how much pressure they received from the palace regarding Andrew. Ouch.
Really? Well, I'm gonna have to watch it to get all of the specifics, and I'll probably be super shocked. Like one of the things that was crazy to me, the thing that I keep seeing on the Donald subreddit is they're saying, it didn't meet their journalistic standards, and then they point out, oh, but
Lucas
all those
says
Kavanaugh
ZB might
stories
start filling the
did.
valley here. Not a good spot for lungs.
You don't think so? Yeah. See, I'm not. I mean, maybe this turns on us and everything, but so far I'm not a huge fan of the area I got. It kind of looks dead, but it wasn't dead enough for it to turn. Okay, so something just happened there. There was a little bit of a flip, and that triggered some buying in the 5 year. They didn't tick up at 18 3/4 yet, but it may yet happen. And the 5 year, or sorry, the 30 year kind of did the same thing.
Winstan's mom says, Lucas, is your astrological sign the lion? Are you a Leo?
There's another little.
Kaka Silva
Little
says who made
hit.
the decision going war with that country or did that? We all know who did, and it is not the people.
Okay. So it still has not upticked, and somebody actually stacked on 04 half, and now somebody stacked on 04. Okay. They are. I don't know if they're giving each other warnings or what. But they are measuring dicks out here. Is the 5 year going to tick up?
Lucas says I am Libra. Contrary to popular belief, I am not balanced, but look for balance.
Tried. It tried. Okay. Anytime that somebody puts a bid at 18 3/4, they're buying. They're taking it. Okay, now it's holding a bid there. And the 30 years stacking up at 18. 10 year ticked up. Took long at 04 for my third and last coffee. says alligator. Well, I don't know. Well, the 5 year kind of pulled it out, but okay, that stack was on the bid at 04.
Lucas says, oh look at ZB go. You're safe now, Seth.
I don't know. I'm still feel a little nervous, dude. The thing is it took a lot for them to push it up there, Now, they could just totally give up and break, but I'm a little concerned about the sellers coming back in and pushing it back down again. And look, there's still more iceberging in the 5 year. He's not letting it tick up.
Wimmer Kevin says when you talk about dick measuring, I always have to laugh because Dinesh on HBO's Silicon Valley misinterprets it as a contest where people compete to see how many dicks they can measure. Live Action says I was watching opening breakout videos last night. One guy trades the first 60 meters bar break, another 30 meters, another the 15 meters, saw some the 5 meters break, and even a 30-second break. Lucas says I wonder how Uzi is reading this. Winstan's mom says Lucas, I am a Sun Gemini with Libra ascendant, so I am balanced, but then Geminis are the twins. Lol, you can find your natal chart to see what planets rule online. Astrolabs will do this for free.
So see there, they flipped again. They didn't get another uptick. Maybe the E-mini is going to go down a little bit now, though. We might just get a little bit of dead until the E-mini opens. Where was that all coming from? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that's funny, Kevin.
Ace
I've
Trade
never
says
seen that.
astrology is hogwash, my dear. Uzi Knesset says at Lucas, I'm waiting for the equities open cause for some reason everyone has decided to message me in various ways and I'm distracted.
Well, this is the dick measuring contest is a very rare signal that you will see in Treasury sometimes, where they will start to stack a ton on the inside, bid and offer. If you watch until the options session close, you will see this signal more often. But it's basically
Lucas says, oh lol, yes, we are close to open. Better wait.
yeah. Basically, it's two big traders have realized that there's another big trader on the other side. And so he's saying, okay, this is how much I have and I'm willing to actually buy. And then the other guy, he shows it too.
Uzi Knesset says wife's friend's toilet is broken. Grandma decides to hit me up out of nowhere after like 3 months lol. Everyone bother me while I work, thanks.
What? Oh, as Uzi is fixing some stuff. Okay, so he doesn't
says
know.
maybe, but the idea is simply to pick up a new tool and then see what it works on. Carl Jung wrote extensively on astrology and I enjoy both nature and nurture. New perspectives, that's all Ace Trades.
So a little bit of volume going into 05, but it's still iceberging and preventing it from ticking up. Okay, so there's an uptick at 05. So I finally have it going in my direction.
Ace Trade says at Winstanzamam, I only care if something is true, not new.
Anyways, so with the dick measuring contest, you'll see them, guy will stack on the inside, offer will stack, and often what you will see is one of the guys will give up. One of the guys will say, oh, he has more than me, I better bail. It's kind of like a warning to the other big guy, is like, we could sit here and we can fight and everything, but it's really unnecessary, and I would much rather that we just figure out which of us is going to win and do it now. And when you see the one guy give up, then it's not uncommon to see a relatively good move after that. So you kind of wait and see who wins.
Lucas says at UZI Knesset, do you find people just can't understand that what you do is work? Like they believe just because you are at home you are not really working. Ace Trade says at Winstanzamam, I only care if something is true, not new. Winstanzamam says there is nothing on this earth more to be prized than true friendship. Thomas Aquinas.
Okay, so now the 05 is stacked higher than the 05 half, but the 5-year is not flipped the 19 and quarter.
Ace Trade says at Winstanzamam agreed. Uzi Knesset says at Lucas 100% people think I sit at home staring at the wall until they grace me with their messages and phone calls.
Okay, the 19 is stacked up in the 5-year. The 30-year is kind of starting to pressure it a little
Uzi
bit.
Knesset says my wife understands. She won't hit me up until lunchtime unless it's an emergency. But that's about it.
I would love for my wife to come in and bother me while I'm trading, but she's like terrified to be seen on stream.
Wimmer
apparently.
Kevin says would be funny if it is the same big guy and their traders made a mistake and positioned against each other.
That could potentially happen. They communicate pretty closely, so I don't think it ever would, but it's a feasible thing to happen. In Goldman Sachs, they would have, when I talked to the traders, there was like 3 or 4 of them working together, and they were taking on different roles.
Lucas says lol, I understand. I am not living off trading, but I already have problems explaining to people this.
Like one guy was just focused on the inside bid and offer, and another person was in charge of managing the larger position. There was like 4 of them were working together. Okay, so uptick. We are kind of starting to get a decent trend going here now. I don't know if the E-mini is going to sell.
Ace Trade says the CME started to find hedge funds who were stocking orders, right? With their algorithms?
I don't know what you mean, Ace. Of course, there are definitely algos out there stocking orders. Hmm. Okay, now the 5-year is starting to do something here.
Winstanza mom says I had difficult getting other moms to understand my shift work in the Air Force. Why was I sleeping at 12 noon after a 12-hour shift and 6 mid shifts in a row?
Wow. Okay, so decent iceberg there at 05.5.
Ace
E-mini
Trade says
ticks
2
down.
minutes. Ace Trade says I read something about a specific market. Some futures, banking notes maybe? Kaka Silva says Seth, do you think Dow Jones can hit 28.000?
I don't
Lucas
know.
says see what I mean about being safe now. Seth beaming face with smiling eyes.
I'm still not relaxing. Listen, until I take the profit, man, it's not over. Because it already looks like somebody's trying to put on the brakes and take it the other way. The E-mini is falling here a little bit. I suspect that today is going to be a sell day in the E-mini. Here's the thing. We've had a pretty good run up going up into here. And Wednesday is a day that people tend
Ace
to
Trade says going to
reallocate.
lock in a point and hold on to open. Still short.
So the chances are that the funds are going to come out and are going to take profits. So you could see a bit of a sell off here. I don't think they would be like a crazy like end of the world kind of selling sort of a stuff, but it's a possibility. Treasuries, I think, are probably going to continue to move up because one, you got the E-mini is looking a little weak, and two, you got a Treasury auction today. And three, maybe there's still some people out there waiting for some sort of trade war
Wimmer
news
Kevin
to
says well
come.
you can still get out, take 1T and be safe from the open, if you feel unsafe
Mm-hmm.
winking face.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that. I would like to get 3 or 4 on it if I can. So there's a down tick. They're buying back into it pretty quickly, though. Come on. Well, that was a slow E-mini open.
Winstanza mom says I do not have a rabbit foots to rub for your good luck, so you will have to settle for me rubbing a Mika ferret's foot.
I make my own
Wishing
good luck.
everyone happy trading, not FOMO.
Make my own good luck. Down. Okay, so it was a very tepid open in the
Lucas
E-mini.
says the more you suffer in a trade, the more you want to be compensated if the trade starts to work it.
Yeah, I think that's totally a great point, Lucas. I mean, I've got to see this as the thing is I'm not necessarily getting an exit signal per se. I'm just kind of watching the flow. It's not like the sellers aren't there or anything, they're still there doing stuff. It's unclear. I do like the way that when the buying comes in, the way that it goes, it's kind of like nobody wants to hit into 06 and then all of a sudden it's like another instrument will move or something and then they start eating into it. But I'm not seeing like the really
Lucas says besides you risk
clear,
3 ticks,
easy.
your reward should be at least that.
Well, yeah, that was kind of what I was thinking. But you can see they're not doing like the really clear trending action, where this stacks up, it's 1,000, and then they take 06 half and that ticks up, and they keep going. It's taken a little bit to eat into it every step.
Ace Trade says it. Lucas agreed. Locked in 3 now.
So that says to me either A, they're just getting started.
Ace Trade says
B,
3 points, not ticks now.
That was a good uptick. Or B, they don't actually have a real reason
Lucas
to
says,
do
lol,
it, and I
nice.
just caught a good spot in the range. Okay, so this 07 is not necessarily pulling out of the way. The 07 is probably going to want to get filled. That's interesting. So they bought 200 of it, and then they stacked up another 2 or 300 on top of it. And 5 years still
Ace
hasn't
Trade says
upticked
it.
at
Lucas, did you get
20.
in? Was my signal timely?
Okay.
Lucas says now you are in profit-taking territory.
Yeah.
Uzi Knesset says okay, focus now. ZB holding above yesterday's value at 19. Next target up is 59.29.
59.29. Well, there's a lot stacked there at 08 in the 10-year. But notice the volume is still, sorry, the level 2 activity in the 10-year is still relatively light. There was this reversal here in the 5-year. So it's tough because I think that the trend is up, so you would expect to see it go up and have spikes for us to exit.
Ace Trade says 5 points, ace straight.
But if they started doing the it's too boring, let's turn it around thing on both sides, then it could be what do we say, frustrating.
Wimmer Kevin says at Lucas, I agree with what you said, but the open can still be annoying. For instance, I was up 14T on oil, decided to hold it into the open and it instantly puked on me, stopped me out and then went up.
Oh, that's frustrating.
Lucas says at ACE Trades was not confident enough. What I should have done is play those moves in sim to see how they play out and build confidence from there.
Yeah. That's a good, that's what I did at first, Lucas. But, it's also, you take them in the micro E-mini, and you're only risking like $10. Right? So it's just kind of sitting here now. I'm seeing ZB running into a pretty big iceberg at 25. The 5-year just looks perfectly happy with the situation. E-mini, a little bit of a deep breath in volume there.
Wimmer Kevin says so my conclusion after this debacle was to either get out at the open or move stop to break even if I really want to hold it, but not taking a loss anymore.
How much did you lose there with Kevin? Or I was up 14 ticks on oil. Decided to hold it into the open. Instantly puked on me. Oh, yeah. Oil's a different beast. I can't really give you advice on it with oil like that. Oil can just move so far, so fast. Man. I mean, here in Treasuries, you can get a crazy move and it can be like 4 to 8 ticks. But in oil,
Lucas
you get a
says,
crazy
why not
move,
move
it's
stop
like
loss
50
to take some
ticks.
profits if it moves against you?
Yeah, good point. Well, the sellers did get
Wimmer
it to
Kevin
tick
says stop was
down.
about 7 to 8 T and it was just in the first minute, a 30 tick down bar. Ace Trade says at Wimmer Kevin I agree, the stop is important at open. I have had it blown though my stop only once or twice, it is very scary.
Okay, so the sellers made 06 half go offer, and now there's a little bit of iceberging. They're having a little bit of trouble on it. The E-mini was pushing some lows there, and now they've pulled back just a tad as well, and now another downtick. And the ask is doing stuff. So that is potentially...
Ace Trade says locking in 5 plus a tick. Not going to touch it.
Okay. Now that I've put my order on there, they're not going to let me out. Watch.
Wimmer Kevin says at Lucas, well like I said, after this trade I made some changes, so it won't happen again. Face with tears of joy, change only comes after pain, and it's true.
What's the 5-year doing here? Ooh, strong uptick at 19 half. The 30 could now take a tick up.
Lucas says word. Uzi Knesset says put limit at the high bro, lean on the range extension.
Well, I'm thinking right there, but I don't know. That uptick at 19.5 in the 5-year was a little interesting to me.
Uzi Knesset says everyone else is at 080 lol.
Yeah. Well, that's where I'm like, the way that I do it is, okay, if there's going to be tons of volume there, they're going to have to range around it to equalize. So it's not unlikely that you're going to see 09. But first we have to get another rush up, you know? I don't know. They're ranging around here.
Greg Orlovsky says ES hasn't done any significant volume.
No, it hasn't. It has been selling. The thing that's weird is when it pulls back, the pullbacks are really kind of quiet, aren't they? Well, here's another thing is that if we start getting above 08, 09, then you're starting to wipe out this whole thing from yesterday. Then I think you start to see some, some people will be
Ace Trade
upset.
says it Greg Orlovsky and it's getting ticky right here at 3068.
Yeah, it is. The level 2 is kind of dancing around. So there was like the bid was a little bit higher than the offer in the 10-year there for a second, and then they both actually pulled a little bit. Okay, uptick. Seller is still trying to hold it there. They upticked, and then when it downticked again, they put 1,500 on it. But people are still buying into it.
Greg Orlovsky says hi Ace. Yes, breaks or runs. Still feel the short side?
The E-mini is starting to see a bit more of a buy now, though. Oh, and the 5-years got another big iceberg at 19.75. 19 pack. Okay.
Ace
And
Trade says it
watching-
Greg Orlovsky no clue. I've locked in profit, just waiting, but need to leave again soon.
You can see that cumulative delta in ES there coming back up. And it's a pretty decent retracement in cumulative
Greg
delta.
Orlovsky says take the 5 and go. Good job, bro.
But it
Lucas
has
says
not
how are you
moved.
going to manage comments when you become more famous? Wimmer Kevin says
question,
just
Lucas.
curious, does anyone here trade Dow and NQ? Tried both and NQ was too volatile for me and just didn't like Dow, so sticking with S regarding stocks.
So if we ever become famous, I think that the first thing that I will do is we will use Discord and have a Discord channel for you guys that have been around for a really long time, and set up a system where you guys can kind of let certain people in, and then we can continue to allow the voicing. Because at that point there'd be so many comments in there that I would need your guys' help to alert me when like people ask good questions and stuff like that. So I think we would have to do something like that, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem. I don't know. I've been watching some other streamers. So like the stock guy on Twitch, he gets about 100 people, and even with 100 people, it's not too bad. Although I don't think that he could. I don't think that he could have him read out every message like I do. But yeah. What's Kaka say
Kaka
here?
Silva says just took break from trading after many loss, was trading DAX and it is very volatility but will change.
Yeah, that's interesting. Trading the DAX, huh? Well, go the opposite. Trade the Treasuries with me, huh? If you don't like the volatility, how about sitting in a trade for 30 minutes and getting 4 ticks out of it, huh? Okay, see, they're really playing the game here on the inside. Like it'll stack to 16 and then immediately go back to 13. Now the E-mini has made it up another point or so. But I'm still seeing that it's like it came back a lot in cumulative delta and barely at all in price.
Ace Trades says it. Greg Orlovsky getting long signal.
Okay. Okay, so there they're hitting it again. 3,000 in both the 5-year and the 10-year. 10 years now showing a spike. A bid just pulled there at 03.
Greg Orlovsky says yep, big buy delta on this bar. 25,000 traded, 3,200 plus delta.
Yeah. I see here, yeah, my delta is 6,000.
Ace Trade says it would be fun to let it trend all day if it does. Move my stop up a bit.
I don't know. Federal Reserve, did you see compensation per hour decreased 4.5% year over year? Another data point for you to pretend does not exist as you keep cutting rates? Huh. Uptick is 06.
Live Action says at Wimmer Kevin I trade those very rarely due to the same reason I am not real comfortable with the rotational ranges. Oddly I had decent results in Russell years ago. Greg Orlovsky says though the range is only 6 points so far.
Okay, the E-mini is maybe turning down again. So we might get the moment of truth here in ES soon.
Lucas says dang, forgot about 10-year auction at 1 p.m. Could explain this fat VP overall in ZN.
For sure. I think that a lot of what we're seeing is because of the auction. But I also wonder, there was some pretty strong selling last week. And
Greg Orlovsky says could flush this long Detla.
There was some periods where it was like, man, the buyers were really pushing hard and the seller just held it like super crazy. And remember when I said maybe it was a country? And what we're seeing right now kind of reminds me a lot of that, doesn't it? Williams, inflation is contained near 2% objective. Zero Hedge says, if one ignores every single asset, of course. Oh, Feds Evans is speaking right now. That could also be explaining a little bit of what's going on right now, huh? I totally forgot about that. I haven't been so good with keeping track of the news, guys. I need to do better. Okay. And they're really having to coax him into it. Okay, but they did take it and they stacked an okay amount on it. And the 5-year win as well. Although the 5-year's only holding like 100 on the bid. Okay. Do we have, I looked earlier and we saw that the Fed was speaking. Is there something at the top of the hour? IVPMI for Canada. That's probably not too critical for us. Okay, they finally take 06 half bid. That time there was not an iceberg on it. And they are stacking at 14K on, 1400 at 06 half. So this makes me happy. So let's not get too excited, shall we? Let's see if they continue through here. Although I'd say it's going to be really interesting. They come up to that 08. After all this iceberging through here in 06 half area. Okay. So the offer in the 5 years kind of pulling in there, starting to eat into that. There is like a spread. There's like a machine gun robot hitting 07 here. That's interesting. Okay. So we took a little bit and then, oh, there's a little bit more. Hmm. Okay. Now the bid in 19 and 3/4 in the 5 year kind of pulled, and they're down ticket 06 half again. And a 3,000 at 07. Uptick again. Does that offer pull? Or are they just going to buy right into it? You know, if that robot that was hitting into 07 really wanted more, I would just sweep it. Because I don't think that guy is expecting to just get filled all at once right here. We could see collision. Maybe I'm just being hopeful here.
Ace Trade says at Lucas another short signal here at 3069.50 if you want to get in.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I like what you're saying here, Ace. This is good for my trade. We just need to have him come over.
Lucas says let's see.
We'll set up one of my charts with his signal. He can. I have a microphone here for you. See, I have an extra microphone here for you. It would be great.
Greg Orlovsky says in at 70 looking for the Delta Flush.
You know, you could sleep over.
Greg Orlovsky says stop 71.25.
So that you don't have to take the hour drive at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Could be fun. Have a guest bedroom downstairs. I would really like to see that E-mini sell hard, please. Okay, so now they've bought 2,000 into 07. So remember, there was like 2,400, 3,000 at 07 at one point, and they just bought into it a little bit. Overall, the delta on this bar continues to be up. Actually, almost all day, the deltas on 15-minute periods have been long. So
Lucas says at ACE Trades, are you selling all that volume? Ace Trades says yeah, I want to wake up at 5, shower, do my hair, find some clothes, lose 10 pounds, drive in the dark. Who will make my kids breakfast? Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Lol.
It would have to be the right day, huh? Okay, now 06
Live Action says at ACE Trades they IDNT seem interested taking it below 69.
So 06 is the middle here. They pushed up. It's kind
Lucas
of looking
says you
like
called
a
it before
false
that
breakout.
volume traded lol, amazing. Ace Trades says at Lucas, okay, that was a horrible call. Sorry.
Yeah, and the E-mini didn't really like that either, did they? Sorry, the Treasuries didn't really like that either, did they? That's kind of pointing down again. Guys.
Greg Orlovsky says took 2 ticks on 2 lot 800 traded up.
Kind of sucks. You see all of this volume long, and then, you know, it ticks down from 06 with only 378 trading.
Greg Orlovsky says, but I tend to scalp.
And now 05 half is starting to pull a little bit. 19 and a quarter is the bottom of the range in the 5-year. E-mini is starting to retrace that little buy. Let's reset that. How long have we been in this for, man? Oh, it actually hasn't been that long. 40 minutes. I didn't really get the best spot, though, is the problem. I had to let that come against me quite a bit.
Lucas says at ACE trades it wasn't bad, I liked the risk of that trade. Love the ones you really soon realize if you are right or wrong. Nothing worse than being 20 minutes in a trade not knowing which way will go. Ace Trades says at Lucas not sure what you were asking, I am still short from 3075.75, have all but one contract stop at 3071.75.
Okay. But from where he was taking it, it did come up, like it spiked up there a whole point. So for him, it probably was right to get out.
IQ says next target up is 59 feet 29 inches by when? Uzi.
59 feet 29 inches, huh? She's never read it out like that before. Wow. So what I see in the E-mini is some cumulative delta long and price
Lucas
not
says
really
inches
coming
long.
along.
Live Action says at ACE Trades that was a great call early this am. Uzi Knesset says target doesn't mean that's where it'll go. Just that if it does rally, that's where I'd expect it to stop. Ace Trades says at Live Action thanks. IQ says for what it's worth I am short, lol.
So they come down to the bottom there in the 5-year. And it does appear like there's probably an iceberg at 19 and a quarter, but it's just not doing anything. So I don't know what they're waiting for.
Greg Orlovsky says this yes. Short could be still valid, huge positive delta not getting anywhere yet.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. The 5-year is maybe gonna, they're trying to take it. No, it's still berging at 19 and a quarter. Every once in a while, I'll see a little bit of a doo-doo-doo in the E-mini.
IQ says scalping to 18 ZB. Ace Trade says stop got hit, one left on, be back later.
Okay. Okay. It's just grinding it out over there. There's a little bit of something there in the 10-year, but it kind of just went back to what it was. Okay.
Lucas says a zipper thing.
Ooh. Okay, so it went offer at 15.5, but it's pushing a little bit too hard for some reason. They're trying to. Why would they be squeezing that hard there?
Greg Orlovsky says probably have to shift ES to the long side. Pullbacks only.
Sure enough, there's an iceberg at 05. See, they're looking at the E-mini and saying, oh, they're going to try and get above that open. How negative has this delta been? Negative 1,000. And it's still, the point of control is still at 0.6 here. That's interesting. Before it was not at 0.5. Well, maybe.
Live action says thought my ladder froze up. ZN moved 8 ticks.
What? That's kind of weird. I'm not getting anything like that. Where did it move to? My ladder did kind of freeze up there for a second, though. Like luck, now that we're down here, it's almost no activity.
Greg Orlovsky says anyone ZB direction thoughts?
Well, we're technically still long, but the buyers haven't been.
IQ says looks like a range day. ZB.
Yeah. It looks to me like that the treasuries overall are buying.
Live action says no, I mean from the open, very anemic.
Yeah, overall they're a buy because the auction, but the E-mini is pushing up there a little bit, and so they came back a little bit.
Greg Orlovsky says Feds Williams, the Fed would address the next recession by cutting interest rates to zero and using communication and asset purchases.
Yay.
IQ says it's a pause from the downside. ZB.
Guess I keep forgetting that he's still speaking, huh? Subpoena whistleblower. He may be involved in corrupt Ukraine dealings, says Rand Paul. Okay, well, now the E-mini is to the open again. There's a 5K iceberg on us at 0.5. I appreciate it, buddy. Whoever you are. I really do.
IQ says check out Taylor's method of MKT rhythms.
I've never heard of that before. There's the IV Purchasing Managers Index for October was 48.2 versus a previous of 48.7. That's a Canadian number. So top of the hour now. Another thought here is that
IQ says battle at 20. ZB.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, yeah. I didn't even catch that. Thank you for pointing that one out. So they're buying it at 20, and there's an iceberg trying to push it down. Okay, well. I guess in the end, when it was at +4, I should have
Greg
taken
Orlovsky
+4.
says econ is down, except for oil at 10:30 or any crazy news. Smiley face.
I'm still a little, I'm kind of watching this E-mini here on the 30-minute chart, and it's like, you know, they could turn down. If the E-mini turned down and made another push for lows and it broke that low that it has, it could get really ugly. But I don't know if they're actually ever going to do anything. And Treasury's kind of playing this same game. So there's an uptick that's pretty good. 1,500 stacked on the bit.
Greg Orlovsky says ES gap from Friday was 3,064.
Yeah. Like, I think that the E-mini really wants to go down to this naked pointy control at 3,060. And that's where I'd be looking for it to go down to if they decide to sell. President Trump says Mitt Romney and others speak out after. Oh, no, it wasn't that. Hey, uptick. President Trump, Mitt Romney, and others speak out after 3 mothers, 6 children were murdered in Mexico because they had some ties to people in Utah. Although apparently they weren't actually, they were like dual citizens and they lived in Mexico. So it wasn't quite what people
Wimmer Kevin says, how long are you in this trade?
Too long, Kevin. Too long. I think it's been an hour now. Not quite an hour. It's kind of crazy to me being a trade this long and it not having given us a real signal. I guess it was kind of giving us a signal up there at the top in the 5-year, and I didn't really catch it. But now I'm getting a signal in the 30-year to say go long again. So I don't know. I mean, that uptick at 05 half I was pretty happy about. They're not holding a lot of orders there now. It's 600. They're not holding the 1,000. Well, somebody tried to hit it, and it. So maybe a lure. The E-mini's still not. Well, the E-mini's kind of turning. It's not enough to be incredibly clear, but it looked like it was.
Greg Orlovsky says these long time in trades really grinds away at the trader. I'll keep reading every tick, annoying. Time in market has significantly gone up, which isn't good.
Yeah, I feel ya. Well, the thing that I find frustrating about it is that you can be in there and waiting for it for so long, and then when if it does come back like we had, it can happen so quickly. What's going on here in the 5-year? 19.25. Was weak. They tried buying through it. About 500 or so on the offer. I mean, the 30-year did get through that iceberg. 20, right? So is Williams still speaking? Cushion for policy response would be given by 2% inflation. The Hill, what Evans loss in Kentucky means probably means nothing, guys. And I know I'm biased. I'm a Republican, prone to ignore the harbingers of doom in 2020, but given how unpopular he was, probably doesn't mean anything other than that Kentucky really didn't like their governor. Big iceberg at 19 in the 5-year. Digital says maybe TPF 5. What's that mean? We are a little higher than the last bar, but now they're stacking 2000. Now 05 again. Urgh. And E-mini still looks slightly down. Hmm. The 5-year level 2 is playing games now. It's flipping back and forth hard.
Greg Orlovsky says at IQ thanks, see the range ZB 26 down to A5 lot at 16.
Hmm. It's so quiet in my house now. I think that the kids had to go to school early for play practice. Don't let your kids get involved in theater, guys. Not that there's anything wrong with theater, but as a parent, it just really sucks to taking them to theater things. There was a click there, and it was on the ask at 05. So it seems that here at 05 has been where the two sides meet and the seller is willing to show big numbers, and the 5-year is trying to buy it up there, and it's not quite going. Now the bid is stacking up a little bit. Well,
Greg Orlovsky says want to make my daily nut, but the market has significantly changed its pace this week.
right? Well, I mean, yesterday was okay, right? Today is where it's been, but you know what? Today there's the Fed speaker speaking right now, right? Is he still talking? Be like an hour speech? Is this going to be until 8:30? I probably should have been out of this trade a long time ago, guys. And now he stacks another 500 on the bid. And another 500 on the bid. But they're not moving. The robots are now buying into 05 because they want the 5-year to take 19 bid. Now they're really clicking it around. Okay, so they hit him at 04.5 and he was real.
Wimmer Kevin says well NQ still looking short emo, if they decide to go for another push, a mini should also drop. Greg Orlovsky says New York Federal Reserve Bank President John Williams to speak in a moderated discussion on the future of the workforce at a Wall Street Journal event in New York, with audience Q&A. 9:30 EST.
Yeah. So he's been speaking for about 40 minutes now. Click. 19 goes. Did not go bid. They cleared the offer, but nobody put a bid up. Okay, there you see there's these still, anybody that puts a bid at 19 is just getting slammed back down on. That 05 was pulling. It pulled and then he put it back on. Oh, come on. Let's buy this thing, guys. Let's see a new high. Let's see something exciting. Something exciting on the buy side, please. If you do something exciting, can it please be up? I would really appreciate that. 19 goes bid. Good stack at 19. 19 and a quarter pulls. Pulls, but then it flips back down. And the 10-year doesn't get through 05. What?
Greg Orlovsky says U.S. collects a record $7 billion in tariffs in September. WSJ article.
Is that bad? I don't know. E-mini going up. Kind of looking a little overextended, though. I don't know. On this, it doesn't look overextended, but on this, it looks overextended. On this, it looks like a intraday head and shoulders pattern. Yes, sir. Although the volume does not quite match up. So it could be nothing. But it is giving me a strong level 2 activity. I think that they're turning it here in ES. Just a reminder that this past ABC editorial standards, a group of witches plans on placing a hex on newly appointed Supreme Court Justice Brett Kavanaugh this weekend. Oh man. ABC looks so foolish today, doesn't they? They were pulling there at 05 half. It's maybe. There was a maybe. See, it's these two. It's like neither of them wants to be the first one to tick up.
Wimmer Kevin says NQ going for the low it seems. S can't ignore the whole time lol.
Yeah.
Live Action says they're the new National Enquirer.
They're the new National Enquirer. Good stack on the bid at 05 half.
Greg Orlovsky says up $41 on a 2-lot in the ES stress has been at a bleed out the ears level.
Wow. Okay, well, the Treasuries just had a couple of really good upticks there, but... Well, so first of all, nobody's hit into 06 yet. So that it doesn't even give me a tick. Come on. Come on. Somebody buy 06. No, nobody's going to buy 06 with less than 1,000 bid at 05 half. E-mini looks like they could just fall apart here any second. There's like one little sweep there through the open and it could be like, oh no. The 5-year there, 19 and a quarter again. See, but they don't do it. Stack on the ask. There's 4,000 now at 04. These stacks on the ask are really far away though. 19 and a quarter did go bid there. Or sorry, I've been in this too long. 19 and a quarter went off. Oh, guys. Interestingly enough, the bid at 050 there is being careful not to stack over 2000. And the E-mini is being careful not to sell below 3073. There was 2000 for a second. Okay, the 5-year upticks. 800 willing to
Live
bid.
action says it's these types of trades when
Ooh.
you lose patience and close it breaks and goes to the moon.
Right? Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? That was like a great uptick and they sold it again. Okay, E-mini taking it. Okay. They're trading it into below the low now. They're still being really tepid and
Wimmer
nibbling
Kevin
at it.
says NQ now at range low. If they break and not fake it then maybe the S will also fall apart.
Equal level 2 in the 10-year. Trader warns fear of being underweight is not a compelling narrative. That's interesting. It was a compelling narrative the past 3 years. And they sell it down at 05. Well, guys. This is incredibly frustrating. I get an uptick and I'm like, oh, that's a good uptick. And then nothing happens. Doesn't matter. Nothing matters. If I can even get one tick, I would be grateful because honestly, I'm going to have to go here. And we're in this time period now where like stuff really sucks. Although I have to say, where we've been here for so long, oh man, the buyers are still willing to push it back up there. The E-mini has been here for so long. I really think that they're going to turn down at some point. The question is just how much buying is that going to result in the treasuries, you know? And that seller is just really tenacious, I think. That was a really crazy strong
Lucas says, oh no,
uptick.
Seth.
Digital Shot says, this is strange. Yeah. Listen, if Mr. Market Maker guy that is causing this to be so slow, let's I have an idea for you. Okay? How about the buyer guy? You show everything that you're willing to buy at 050, because then that would give me break even. And and then Mr. Seller guy, you show us everything that you're willing to sell at 05 half. And then you two can just trade through everything that you need to, and then we'll be done with it. Huh? No? You're going to tick down instead on me, huh? Why? No, you just tick up, please. It's kind of funny how upset I'm getting at one tick. Digital Shot is clearly short. Well, now that it was 3,000 at 04, but now it's 2,000 and they're pulling below 2. A bit flaggy. Yeah. Well, the action, I think they want to squeeze me out at some point, but the action seems to be range bound.
Live Action says everything consolidating soybeans had a typical 2-point low break and CL had a little bit off report.
The 5-year went to a new low there, though. So, and now the bid's starting to do a little bit of the fishy business again.
Wimmer Kevin says maybe oil report in 4 minutes will do something.
Maybe. I'm going to be out by then. So there was a little bit of a peak there, like a little bit of a bounce, and now the E-mini is trying to push below the open again. And the cumulative delta through this whole time period here
Live
above
Action
70,
says CL their front running looks like
3070, it's just been flat. It's just been completely flat.
IQ says D bottom forming in ZB on 5 meters.
Double bottom. Well, ZB did kind of stick around there, didn't it? I'm not getting like any kind of strong signals around here. I honestly haven't seen much of a quote unquote strong signal pretty much anywhere today. Okay, so they bought through 3,000 on the offer now at 04 half and made it go bid. I mean, hey, why not? I still think I'm going to get out at 05.
IQ says our favorite number.
Our favorite number. Peter pointing out the EIA is in 5 minutes. The oil report. Oil report usually doesn't move treasuries, though. Wow. we can leave that open so that we can see. Oil is moving up today.
Live Action says I did catch a domestic bearish production analysis yesterday.
Is that why you say in front running? Because you think that the oil report is going to be bullish and they already know and they're buying into it? E-mini kind of turning down now. They're through that spot. Probably needs to get below 30.70 before it can really start to move more freely.
Live Action says could be. Wimmer Kevin says NQ new low.
Wasn't NQ the leader on this rally? That's interesting that they're already new low. The S&P 500 isn't anywhere close to a new low yet. That could change very quickly. Whoa, what? Whoa, what? I'm so confused.
Greg Orlovsky says be careful low ranges in all. Wimmer Kevin says yeah Dow and S&P are strong today compared to NQ.
ES is kind of moving down. Yeah, those bids moved down. Come on. Buy it. Buy those treasuries, please. Okay, now E-mini is starting to sell a little bit. The EIA report came out and oil is moving down and retracing that buy that they had.
Wimmer Kevin says oil report worse than expected. Let's see.
ES looks weak for sure. 5-year kind of moving up, but 19 is not bid yet. 05 is not bid yet. We'll see if they uptick it, what kind of action we get then. Oh man, the E-mini just careened down there so quickly. Look at the cumulative delta is already almost to the low. And that 05 is being stubborn though. Like it's at 3,000 on 05. Stack on the bid. $4,000 at 04.5. I'm kind of, I don't know, suspicious. Okay. Ooh, they pulled it 05. They pulled it 05. Really? You're not gonna take that up, huh? Oh, there's just a lot of robots on the inside. Okay. Bid. They bought all 3,000 that was sitting there at '05. And not the most inspiring bid in the world, but they hit it and it held. And down 4,000 on both sides of this. Mm. So the frustrating thing about this is that you watch it and there's so much volume here, and you're like, and they move away from this, it's gonna go so hard. But with this much volume, probably it's not gonna get far. Because any market maker that's like, look, I'm thinking about taking one tick or scratch, right? Okay, the E-mini came back really fast, and now it's going sideways a little bit. I don't know if there's going to be another flush of volume or not. $6,000. Well,
Wimmer Kevin says, man, that is tedious to watch, lol, doing some statistics, and when I watched your stream, ZN is still sitting there doing nothing, grinning face. Live Action says, missed that early short ace, called this am but got a second chance at it, made my day. Greg Orlovsky says ES is mid-profile, still slightly below the opening price.
yeah, it is a good point.
Winstanzamom says, gentlemen, speculator Seth, how goes the day? Checking in because you all are rather quiet now.
Because we're all sitting in trades waiting for it to move and just going, please just...
Winstanzamom says, 20 watching now, please hit like.
Hey, thank you guys.
Greg Orlovsky says, hello Win, smiley face.
I mean, as it's moved up, the bid is stacking aggressively. Clearly, this seller, though, is not going to give up. And the buyer is not, like, doing it all himself, you know? He's kind of letting the robots go into it. I'd like to see if we make 05 go bid again
says, hi,
stops at 05 half. That's a big iceberg, though. That's 8K iceberg at
Wimmer
05.
Kevin says, well, Seth, just move the trade by yourself. Maybe 5,000 market longs will do the trick.
Right. Time to whip out the big account I've been hiding from you guys. $5 million here. I'm going to buy all the shit. Up. Look out. Nope. Don't have any such account. Maybe if we go on Robinhood and, use their little infinite leverage trick and start buying TLT. How about that? Well, the level 2 kind of flipped around again, but the E-mini is still pointing down. Stack on the ask at 05. And there's an 8K iceberg at 04 half. Like, if with the icebergs could have been like 05, 05 half, that would have been so much better, guys. Okay, they break through 04 half. It took 9,448 to do it. And he stacks 3,000 on it again. What the
Greg
fuck?
Orlovsky says, Seth, take 10 seconds and get up and stretch.
Oh my gosh, guys. Oh,
Live Action says, seems like my dream is coming true. 2,400,000,000 offered on this trade.
Like, you're right, Greg. I need to stand up. I want out. I want out at like +1. What is going on? What is going on? This I've seen this before. I need to take a step back. Calm down, Seth. I've seen this before. it was an auction day, and there was like crazy, but it wasn't stacking like this. I don't think I've ever seen it stack like this. That's the one that I find kind of weird. But I do remember it. There was like an offer kind of like this. It was like they were buying, and that they just couldn't get out. And then finally they decided to buy, and there was like a 15K iceberg on the offer or something like that. And when they finally got through it, they swept up 4 ticks, and then it came back, and that was like the end of it. It didn't do anything until the auction. I would really like to get up and pee and, take a drink because I'm out of water here. Come on. But I don't want to miss it if it goes up and I have an opportunity to click out here. Or if it just runs, That's entirely possible. Yen needs to decide here. Okay, well, the oil report was interesting. You know what? The yen has been really slow too. That's interesting. Relatively well correlated with the treasury, though. Mm-hmm. Let's just buy it.
Greg Orlovsky says Zien only 57 traded at 129, 3.5.
You know what would be fun? Is if a block buy came through at 05. We have not seen one of those in a while, have we? Like a 3,000 or more trade into 05?
Greg Orlovsky says last swing. Algo Lover says how's life? Thinking face.
Algo Lover, where have you been? I was concerned about you yesterday. I was like, where's Algo Lover? We didn't get the engagement. Yesterday we made some changes, and it really improves the time watched number on the videos, but then we didn't have comments. So the video didn't really take off like maybe it could have. But today, hey, we got some stuff. We got the stinger. If you didn't watch the stinger, go back and watch the video on when it's on replay. There's the little intro thing at the beginning that is fun. But Algo Lover, life has not been great. The treasuries are being so stuck. This guy, somebody bought 10,000 at 04 half, and they traded it down, and then he bought like 3,000, and he's bidding 3,000 at 04 half. And so this guy at 05 half is now stacked 5,000 on the offer.
Algo Lover says busy on this side of screen, winking face.
And it's just not doing anything. He says busy on this side of screen. Okay. You must be the one that's offering everything in 05. Well, anyways, look, now he's okay. So there was a little bit of a change because now it's stacking to 3,500 at 04 half, and some of the offer at 050 pulled. And now the level 2 has not flipped yet. Notice that the guy on the offer is making sure that he stays ahead of the bid. But well, will this unwind fast or slow?
Swissio says Seth, you will see how the bid will be pulled away at 040, winking face.
You think so, Swisso? I'm curious now because Swisso does not mess around. They're going to pull it away at at 040.
Algo Lover says, what's the trend? Thinking face, thinking face.
That's a good question, Algo Lover.
Wimmer Kevin says, plot twist, it's Swissio's order.
Because the larger trend has been down, but then something came in. Digital says, my guess is that it will stay here forever. Now part of your problem here is you were obviously big volume in the 10-year, but it still seems to be going based off of whether the 5-year is ticking up or ticking down. It used to be doing it when it was up or down at 19 and a quarter. Now it's doing it when it's at 18 and 3/4. So I don't know. See, like if this 18 and 3/4 ticked up and held, then I think you'd probably see a couple of people buy into 05. And that's interesting that Swisso thinks that the 04 would pull. But that wouldn't surprise me. It's just his, he says that so confidently. But maybe he's just messing with us. I don't know. Oh man. Well, see, a little bit pulled off at 05, but we still haven't seen the level 2 flip. Digital Shot is sitting on the offer at 05, and he's thinking maybe I should just scratch it. Okay, well, 18 and 3/4 is now holding a good bit, and they might flip and 19 might start getting bought into. The 30-year still kind of looks like it wants to poke up. But we are getting some pushing on the buy side. Nope, it's still.
Winstan's mom says is overheard being told on the radio by Warren Buffett, they are canceling the Christmas pageant on Wall Street this year. They are apparently not 3 wise men left among the lot, let alone a virgin. Wimmer Kevin says, what's the longest time you have been in a trade set? Winstan's mom says, old joke, lol, but still funny and applicable.
I think I've been in one for 3 hours before, and it ticks up again.
Live Action says, lol.
So now my 10-year shows a huge spike, but this spike is because it's been sitting here for so long. Whoa. Hey, Swisso, you still think that 04 is going to pull? Because that is a lot sitting there. And the guy at 05, I think the guy at 05 finally said, okay, no, you win, my dick is smaller. I think that's what just happened.
Algo Lover says, hey, you might like The Man Who Solved the Market, Jim Simons thumbs up.
Okay. I'll add it to the
Live
long
Action
list
says
of
Buffet is
that
big time in cash right now.
I'm a little too happy about 05 going bid with only 3,000 trading. I'm a little bit too happy about it. He moved his bid up. What? This is so much fun, guys. I don't even know what happens, but this
Greg Orlovsky says, ZN, now we are seeing old time numbers.
Heck yeah. There's a really good observation, Greg. Now we're seeing the numbers that we were seeing like back in April.
Wimmer Kevin says this is the slowest fight I have ever seen in my life.
I've never seen anything like this. Not even remotely close.
Live action says putting my seatbelt on now.
Yeah. Peter says they just sold the
Algo
shit
Lover
out of
says,
crude
ZN if
spreads.
trend is down, then they're bidding up to find sellers, right thinking face.
Okay, it upticked at 05.5.
Ace Trade says at Algo Lover who is they?
That's a good question, folks. If trend is down, then they're bidding up to find sellers, right? Question mark. Well, so hold up, Algo Lover. Where are your levels at? Because and he moved it up again. Because when I look at my chart, I say that
Algo Lover says you at ACE trades face with tears of joy.
holding 05 is how do I phrase this? Holding 05 and then pushing the high of the day could be a strong signal of a reversal.
Ace Trade says at Algo Lover lol. Rolling on the floor laughing.
Ace has decided to trade treasuries, and he's the one that's bidding it out for us. It must be. Or somebody really likes me, is willing to bid 12,000 in order to make a trade go my way. I appreciate it, sir. I do. Man. To me, it's a little wild. You see 6K stacked on two prices, and that doesn't cause a ton of robots to freak out and buy. I should also say I have seen 6K at two levels pull before. I don't know. Major OPEC producers do not want further cuts. Says, okay, there's an uptick. It's a strong uptick, and he moves it up again. Woo. Okay, well, there was two 6K orders, and one of them is not there anymore. Yeah, we don't need that anymore. You think maybe I can relax now? Okay, you know what, guys? I got 10 minutes. I really need to use the bathroom. So I'm going to step away for a second, and when I come back, I will be filled at 09 and I will be happy. Probably not. Okay, be right back.
Swissio says offer a full time to press down, fake was awesome. Wimmer Kevin says plot twist it's not a sir, it is Hillary Clinton with the 12K. Algo Lover says 129,085 up from here if they sustain this bid, thumbs up. Live Action says I have a very old investing friend, he's in his 90s, told me in his day market would move only 1 to 2 points a day. Winstanzamom says interesting Algo Lover, thanks. Simons is the founder of Renaissance Technologies, a Setauket, New York-based hedge fund that has $61 billion of assets under management. Winstanzamom says its signature medallion fund has delivered average annual returns of about 40% since 1988 and has paid him more than $9.5 billion in cash distributions since 2006. Winstanzamom says not a bad, distant contact, lol. Greg Orlovsky says at ACE are the Clintons part of that Illuminati? Winstanzamom says the Mercers, Algo Lover again, interesting. Greg Orlovsky says I see no one from the South, thanks. Ace Trades says why someone would trade Treasuries when it's obviously controlled by the Illuminati is beyond me. Live Action says with you on this one, Seth. Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky the Clintons are not, no one from the South is. Algo Lover says you are good winking face but I'd lock it in but you won't face with tears of joy. Algo Lover says at Winstanzamom I know, thumbs up, face with tears of joy, we have a distant contact. Ace
Okay.
Trades says there was an article in the WSJ on October 29th about the CME fining trading with Algo. Algo Lover says face with tears of joy. Ace Trades says at Greg Orlovsky or do you? Lol.
So is this
Ace
where
Trades
that,
says
that
that was
bid pulls?
sexist, I could just as easy hire a girl coder. Winstanzamom says as of November 5, 2019, last change no change YTD change plus $5.33 billion plus 34.6%, industry finance biggest asset cash citizenship United States age 81 wealth self-made. Greg Orlovsky says at a CEO man. Winstanzamom says I am
Sorry,
reading the one
guys,
in Bloomberg
it
now.
got
Coding,
it got
everyone should learn to
backed
code,
up.
that's a big word around the intellectual dork web. Ace Trade says at Winstanzamom if I ever need to code, I'll just hire some 17-year-old, pay him in Red Bull and Xbox. Wimmer Kevin says that's why I am trading 2 and sometimes 3 lots.
Wow. So
Ace
it
Trade
traded
says I've got 1 car
6,000.
left on, if this doesn't do anything but chop, I'm getting my 5 points and heading out. Winstanzamom says or a Navajo code talker but most of those are now far too old.
I'm gonna let it
Algo
read them
Lover
all.
says we are trading against the best, most heavily funded firms on the planet but think our 1 lots matter, thinking face with tears of joy. Winstanzamom says exactly, and look for an INTP, lol they lead with the cognitive function of accuracy, t, lol. Algo Lover says face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy.
So, entonces. Okay, so it's exceeded its limit. It's so weird how it does that. I can see some spreading going on, buying the 10 and selling the 5. There's a lot hitting into it here now. It's stacking all
Block
the way
buy.
up everywhere. Ooh, okay, big order went through. Okay, well, I got 2 ticks out of it. I don't know, folks. They might buy through that and continue higher, but I've got to end it. That was fun though, wasn't it? That was fun. You know what, guys? Good fun times. I'm glad I had you all here with me to sit in this meat grinder. Oh man, I got in at exactly the right spot because now 05 is pulling. Oh boy. Oh boy, hey Swisso, you were right. Well, you know what we call that, folks? All that just happened there? Pure skill. I'm just kidding. I got so effing lucky.